Today's Bible verse of the day is Luke chapter 12, verse 8. To acknowledge Jesus is to not be ashamed of Jesus, to stand with God regardless how the world may view Jesus. To be with Jesus is to enter into communion with God, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Essentially, we enter into the divine realm. This is Bible verse reflection for Bible verse reflection is Luke chapter 12, verse 8. To confess Jesus not just with our words, but with our hearts, our minds, but how we live out our lives is to join ourselves to Jesus, to be united with Him. Once we are connected to the divine, is it no wonder we enter into the place of angels? Luke chapter 12, verse 8, Jesus tells us that we confess Jesus before others, Jesus will confess us, acknowledge us before the angels of God. Is it no wonder that once we are connected to the divine, we enter into the same place as the angels? Once with Jesus, we're in the same realm as angels. How could God not acknowledge knowing us? Once there, of course, Jesus will recognize us and claim us, for we have claimed him. Luke chapter 12, verse 8. The opposite then holds true too. If we never live out our lives in accordance with Jesus, with his teachings, his mission, his love, then how can we ever enter into the divine space? If we aren't hand to hand, if we don't cling to Jesus, we will never be in communion with God. We can never be divinized. Is it a wonder why Jesus will not be able to acknowledge us among the angels of God? It's not necessarily that we are rejected as so much as we reject being there with Jesus amongst the angels of God. Let us stress the point that with Jesus, we can be joined with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Let us reflect on Luke chapter 12, verse 8. Let us reflect on this fact that will be enough to be in communion with God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But not only that, we will also enter into the divine community of angels. We can enter into the divine family of God. We will be in heaven. And isn't that the goal? All we need to do is begin accepting Jesus into our hearts, minds, every day. Every day, follow Jesus, pick up our cross, and in doing so, we begin to join in into this Holy Communion. And yes, once doing that, we will be in the same place as the angels. All thanks, all accessible because of Jesus. Let us again reflect more deeply on Luke chapter 12, verse 8.